Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. You know, if you have ever found yourself second-guessing a sentence right before you hit send on an email, or maybe pausing mid-conversation because a verb just didn't sound quite right, well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to master some of the most infamously tricky grammar rules in the English language together, the essential mechanics of infinitives and gerunds. So grab your notebooks, get comfortable, and let's conquer this. Okay, let's dive right into this with a question that might actually make you pause for a second. Did you stop watching or stopped to watch? It seems like a minor distinction, right? Just a tiny little word, to, versus an ing at the end of the verb. But the truth is, choosing the wrong one can completely flip the meaning of what you're trying to say. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what is at stake here. On the left side, where the TV is clicking off, we have I stopped watching, which means you completely ended the activity of watching. You're done. But on the right side, where she's heading into the theater, I stopped to watch means you halted whatever else you were doing in order to begin watching. It is a massive difference in meaning, all hinging on the difference between a gerund and an infinitive. Consider this your official grammar survival guide to making sure you say exactly what you mean. So here is our roadmap for today. 1. Meet the infinitive. 2. The it is shortcut. 3. Gerunds versus infinitives. 4. Verbs that change meaning. And 5. Put it into practice. Section 1. Meet the infinitive. The basics. So what exactly is an infinitive? Well, an infinitive is simply a verb combined with the word to. But here is the secret that really unlocks how they work. Even though it contains an action word, an infinitive most often acts as a noun in a sentence. Less frequently, it can act as an adjective or an adverb, but its primary job is to take a verb and package it up so it can be talked about like a thing, a concept, or an idea. Let's look at how naturally we actually use these every single day. I want to go home early. Help me to save the trees. Or acting as the main subject of the sentence. To leave for a vacation is my only wish. And for that last example, if you want to make an infinitive negative, you just drop not right in front of it. Don't forget not to make grammar mistakes. When you see them laid out visually like this, you can really start to feel the rhythm of the language. Now I know exactly what some of you strict grammarians are thinking right now. What about the dreaded split infinitive? You know, that's when you wedge a word right between to and the verb, like in the phrase, to seriously work hard. Well, generally speaking, it's not super common to split the infinitive in formal writing. However, you absolutely can do it when you want to deeply, profoundly, seriously emphasize the verb. It adds a really nice punch of dramatic flair when used correctly. Section 2. The it is shortcut, a common pattern. So, the crucial point here is understanding the it is plus infinitive structure. It is time to do math. It was nice to see you. It is common to think that way. In all of these sentences, the word it is acting as a dummy subject. It doesn't actually mean anything on its own. Instead, it directly refers to the infinitive phrase that follows later in the sentence. What was nice? To see you. What is common? To think that way. It's just an incredibly elegant way to structure a thought. Section 3. Gerunds versus infinitives. The cheat sheet. In English, the main verb of your sentence kind of acts like a boss, dictating exactly what kind of word is allowed to follow it. The left column lists verbs that strictly demand gerunds. For example, you consider going, you enjoy walking, you deny stealing. You would literally never say, I enjoy to walk. In the middle column, these verbs strictly demand infinitives. You decide to go, hope to win, or promise to help. And then in the right column, we have the easygoing verbs. Words like continue, like, and begin happily take either a gerund or an infinitive, and the sentence's meaning doesn't change one bit. You can start running or start to run, and both are perfectly correct. Section 4. Verbs that change meaning, the boss level. Okay, there is a very special category of verbs that can precede either gerunds or infinitives. But depending on which one you choose, the entire meaning of the sentence changes. The 4 main tricksters you need to watch out for are forget, remember, stop, and try. These are verbs with dual identities, and they require your absolute full attention. Now, what's really interesting here is how this brings us full circle back to our opening question. Look at the verb stop. On the left, I stopped watching the movie. Because watching is a gerund, it represents the cessation of an action. You literally turned the TV off. But on the right, I stopped to watch the movie. The infinitive to watch indicates a purpose or future action. It means an interruption of whatever you were previously doing so that you could start watching. It is a brilliant mechanical shift hiding right in plain sight. Section 5. Put it into practice. Pop quiz. All right, here is your first challenge. I am going blank English. You need to insert the verb learn. Take a brief second. Is it a gerund or an infinitive? If you said to learn, you absolutely nailed it. I am going to learn English. This is a classic infinitive, acting to show intent and future action. Fantastic job if you got that one right. Let's move to the next one and see how this builds into something just a bit trickier. Look at this sentence. The company considered blank its main building. The verb to insert is sell. Think back to our cheat sheet. What does the boss verb consider demand? The answer is selling. The company considered selling its main building. Remember, consider was firmly planted in the only gerunds column. You consider doing something, you never consider to do something. Okay, for our final challenge, we have a double blank sentence pulling from multiple rules we've discussed today. It is great blank that they agreed blank the land. The verbs are hear and share. Think about the it is shortcut we learned, and then think about the verb agree. Let's piece it together. And here is the solution. It is great to hear that they agreed to share the land. It's a double infinitive. It is great to hear perfectly follows that dummy subject rule, and agreed is a verb that strictly demands an infinitive to follow it. I totally love this example because it just goes to show how much clearer complex grammar becomes when you break it down visually, step by step. Which brings us to our final thought for today. Will you remember to use these rules or just remember learning them? See what I did there? Remember to use means you will actively perform the action in the future. Remember learning means you simply possess the memory of sitting here with me. Hopefully it's both. The mechanics of language are endlessly fascinating when you really peel back the layers. Thank you so much for joining me to master infinitives and gerunds today in this explainer. Stay curious, keep practicing, and I will see you next time.